I've been sick all week, so if you happen to hear my voice just go, that's why. So The Acolyte finished up its first season this week, and people have been mad about it for the entirety of that season. But I'm not here to talk about the quality of the series itself. To be honest, I didn't watch it, but I have come across various spoilers, and there's a particular spoiler that I want to talk about, which just got me thinking about the state of Star Wars as a whole. Needless to say, if you want to avoid the spoiler I'm going to talk about, you have until Boss Nass stops shaking his head. Also, a casual reminder, if you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe. Helps me out, you've heard it all before. So in the final episode of The Acolyte, we see a reveal of Darth Plagueis for the first time in live action. This is a character who's long been talked about in Star Wars. There's a novel that is, I believe, a Legends book. And he's the guy who's talked about in, one of the best scenes in episode 3.
Did you ever hear the tragedy of Darth Plagueis the Wise?
So this is a character with huge storytelling potential. We had the Emperor, who was a villain over the course of 6.5 movies if you include Rise of Skywalker. And Plagueis is the guy who trained him, which is interesting to reveal. And I think as a character, it would be interesting to explore what Plagueis is all about. And all of this has the potential to be interesting for Star Wars in terms of exploring a character who we haven't seen in live action before, who is a potentially greater evil than the evil that we've seen so far in the series. But my question in all of this is, why is that relegated to a TV streaming series? Where are the Star Wars movies gone? I mean, Plagueis seems like a large enough character that you could explore him over either a movie or a trilogy of movies. This is the first time we're seeing this character in live action, and it's relegated to the last couple of minutes of a very divisive streaming series. It feels very unceremonious to me for a character that has that much mystique around them. And as well as this, The Acolyte is the first time that we've seen the High Republic in live action. This is what everyone's first impression of that age in Star Wars is. Instead of, kind of everyone joining in the joy of seeing that on the big screen together, it's just on a streaming series that probably doesn't have the budget to do the High Republic the justice that it may deserve. They're also setting up other stories with the Ahsoka series, which seems to be setting up some kind of version of Heir to the Empire, with Thrawn returning to the galaxy, and he's going to be doing whatever, trying to set up a new empire. I don't know what way they're going to do it. At the moment, it seems like it may most likely be done as a series on Disney Plus instead of a movie. We haven't gotten any kind of a hint towards it. I know that Dave Filoni apparently has a Star Wars movie on the way. It could be done as a movie, but just the way things are going, it seems like everything with Star Wars seems to be Disney Plus at the moment. Now, they have had some success with streaming with shows like The Mandalorian, but these are stories that are smaller in scale. Something like Heir to the Empire or a Darth Plagueis story could end up being larger in scale. So why would you restrict something like that to a TV budget that's spread over 8 episodes? Even if they did something like a really tight 3 to 4 episodes or a movie made for streaming. But no, everything seems to be a streaming series that's 8 episodes long on Disney Plus now. And the last Star Wars movie that was released in cinemas was The Rise of Skywalker. Yuck. And the next Star Wars movie that's actually planned is The Mandalorian and Grogu. I guess because that's the only thing that's been consistently liked by fans with Disney Star Wars. And that's scheduled for 2026. By the time that's released, that will have been 7 years between movies. It's been that long since we've heard the opening crawl for Star Wars. And I believe Disney were so badly burned by the release of Solo and then following it up with The Rise of Skywalker that they just went, no, we're not risking this. We're not risking this again for another few years. And I'm not saying that we need Star Wars movies every year. I think that's what kind of killed it in the first place. But something like The Acolyte or something like The Heir to the Empire or a Darth Plagueis story, all of that stuff seems like they would really benefit from a really tightly done 2-hour story with good visual effects and choreography to really just hammer home that Star Wars can still have that special note that people love. Because with the exception of Andor and maybe the first 2 seasons of The Mandalorian, all the rest of the Star Wars streaming shows are just fine. They're fine. Everything is just, it's Star Wars. And I think that Star Wars as a brand deserves better than that. I think the Marvel movies have persisted for so long because Marvel doesn't typically just do a superhero movie. A lot of the time it's, we want to do a sci-fi space opera with superhero elements. We want to do a political thriller with Captain America. We want to do a pseudo horror movie, except it's Doctor Strange. And I think that that's really helped to keep like the Marvel movies alive for as long as they have. Whereas I think Star Wars also has the potential to kind of do that, but it feels like they've never tried it. The closest thing that they've done is the first season of The Mandalorian, which to me feels like a cowboy story. But they've never done that with anything else. They've never done a Star Wars horror movie or, I don't know, whatever else. A Star Wars slice of life movie. That'd be fun. But it all just feels quite safe. Everything is a Star Wars movie, a Star Wars show. I think since literally day one, Star Wars has always been a big cinematic experience shared by everyone. You know, that's why the opening crawl is literally like, and I think everyone taking in that movie experience together can really color how you actually take in a movie. If everyone's laughing together, if everyone's crying together, if everyone's enjoying the sweet action together, then I think that makes a big difference. Whereas Star Wars being relegated to a Disney Plus show, a lot of people are probably watching it like this, just scrolling on their phones, the show's in front of them. Oh, I got a message. Like, the Star Wars universe is a fun, bombastic universe to be enjoyed. You can tell any kind of a story, I think, in that universe, and people will find some matter of enjoyment in it. But the thing is, Disney strongly interfered with Solo and The Rise of Skywalker. Solo was like, oh, we lost the director halfway through, yeah, get in another director, fix it, reshoot it all. Rise of Skywalker was like, we made a mistake with the last movie because we didn't have a plan, so let's try and like retcon everything and fix everything up and make it like looked like it was all planned out. Also bring back the Emperor. I don't know. I don't know. We'll figure that out on the day.
Somehow Palpatine returned.
Just plan it out. Just, if it seems important, maybe put it in a movie and plan it. I'm just sick of Star Wars now being a series where it's constantly negative the whole time. It's always like people being like, the Acolyte sucks, and then they watch 8 episodes of it for no reason. Whereas I think if you were to put in the time and the effort to make some good Star Wars movies in between these other streaming shows that frankly are just fine, I think that would do a lot for the fan base and do a lot for the general audience in terms of, oh wow, I enjoyed that Star Wars movie. Let me see what else is on. And just, yeah, I think Star Wars is a cinematic experience that needs to be shared. That's it. I've been rambling for too long about this.